What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast. And today we have a really special guest. Listen, this man has been giving you hits from in the 90s up until right now. He just released his new song called Happy on Valentine's Day. He's giving you hits like All My Life, Can't Get Over You, Always on My Mind, Missing You Right Now, Yesterday, This Time I Promise, and so much more. You know, we have in the building today, we have Mr. Daville in the building today. What's going on, big boss?
Salute. We're there, man. Everything good enough?
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Entertainment Report podcast today.
See, it's a pleasure to be here, you know what I mean?
Definitely. Well, on this program, we like to go right from the beginning and then bring it up right until today. So my first question for you is this. Where did you grow up in Jamaica, and what type of child were you?
Well, first of all, I was a good child. You know what I mean? I don't think I did anything outrageous like any other kids growing up in the ghetto. Mm-hmm. You know, of course, when I was born in a place called Tiger Valley, which is next door to Selassie High School, okay. Kingston 11. You know what I mean? In that area, you have places like, I was on my right, you have Pain Land. Mm-hmm. In front of me, you have building. Then on the left, you have Mackay Lane. You know what I mean? And then up front, you have Chisholm Avenue and place and Walton Park where they get me. So I was right in the midst of all of that. But luckily, you know, I never spent my entire childhood there because my father, you know, being the kind of man that he is very ambitious and eventually buy a house uptown. Mm-hmm. And then I moved uptown at probably about 11, I think. Moved uptown and then I grew up the rest of my years uptown. Kingston 19 era, them places, you get me? Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of people, if they don't know, your father is Jah Thomas, and he's the owner of the Midnight Rock label there.
Yeah, definitely. From my day gone, them a talk about book it down. I'm a Jah Thomas, I have the new dancer road, show them. You know, you're responsible for songs like that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So you grew up in the house hearing music from as long as you could remember then?
Yeah, man. Music was always a part of my household, you know? Mm-hmm. As a kid growing up, my father used to bring home his tracks from studio, freshly recorded, you know what I mean? And I would hear them before the music up on wax. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So at the same time, you have influential, iconic artists like Early B, Rankin Ty, and, you know what I mean, Tristan Palmer, Barrington Levy, Anthony Johnson, Luca John, and them people used to come around. Even John Jalas, you know what I mean, from Volcano. You see me? So I was in the midst of all of that. So of course, you know, my father himself is an artist and a producer himself. So I was bitten by the bug from very early, musically speaking. You get me?
And did you really understand what was going on from early, or it took you later on when you started to grow up to really understand? So, okay, these are influential musical people that I'm seeing that's around me all the time.
Well, honestly, at the time, it was just fun for me. I never really thought about whether the relevancy of who they were really. It's just that the fact that I felt a certain vibe and a certain energy when them come around and just see the way they interact and the way they move and the way they act, you know what I'm saying? And I was just very impressed, you know, by that. You get me? And it left an impression on me. You get me? Especially for the fact that I've always wanted to, I saw my father as a person I wanted to emulate and be like at the time growing up, you know? So, you know, film style was just my style and film movement was just my movement. You get what I say? Mm-hmm. And his environment, but I just enjoy being in it at the time. Eventually when I grew up and got to a certain age, you know, and start have a full understanding of what it was about, I realized that these men were really making a mark, you know, from an iconic point of view, musically speaking, you get me?
Mm-hmm. And so growing up now, yeah, you've seen your father, he's in music and stuff, but was that initially the first thing you really wanted to get into, or there was something else that you thought you would have got into while you were growing up?
Yeah, well, honestly, that's something I definitely wanted to be in from day one. I've always thrived to make something out of the music. I always view myself on stage and envision a future of me being successful mm-hmm. in the music. You get me? That was my dream. That was my aspiration. And while some other people in my class at the time wanted to be lawyers, doctors, Indian and chiefs, you know, I wanted to be an artist on stage singing to millions of people.
Mm-hmm. So what was your first move, I guess, like in high school or something, to really start to go towards music? And did you always want it to be a singer, or did you start DJing first? What was your first thing?
My thing was just music, and I look a bit of everything, really. 'Cause, you know what I mean? Of course, you know, my father's a DJ, you see me? And again, I have both DJs and singers coming into my midst. So I was inspired by the whole idea. That's why you find, say, I've become this versatile individual in terms of being able to DJ, being able to sing, being able to sing J, as they would call it, and also produce. Because I had all of that entity in my surroundings, and I gravitated to it and absorbed what I was in the midst of like a sponge. And it's been helping me in my career at this point, you know? Yeah.
All right. So what was your first probably amateur move towards getting into music? Did you join the choir? Were you singing in church? Were you just on the corner? What was your moves? What was your journey into the music now?
Well, of course, you know, I used to go to a school called Tavares Basic School. Mm-hmm. And then from there I left and I went to Maxfield Park Primary. From Maxfield Park Primary I left and I went to Nama Manley Comprehensive. Well, Nama Manley I, before it became Comprehensive I. Mm-hmm. And through that whole period, I've always been involved in some kind of choir activity, you know what I mean, a school engagement activity where you as a student was allowed to present your talent on stage. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I used to go to that place, a church called St. Peter Clever Church off Waltham Park Road. I was a part of the choir there as well. So at that point in time, you know, I was definitely putting out that energy via that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right there. And then you did all the college and stuff. Did you enter any contests or anything?
Well, I did eventually. I mean, I did enter some contests after I became a member of the group A.R.P. You see me?
Okay, so then let's go back then. So then this means clearly you met A.R.P. You met the members of A.R.P. first. How did you connect with some of the members or the members of A.R.P.?
Well, prior to that, I remember this one thing I want to mention. I remember my father was the first person who took me to the studios.
Okay.
And gave me the first opportunity to put my voice on wax. Mm-hmm. You get me? Because I used to go to the studio with my father. I used to hook up the 24 track and the 2 track, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Follow him go to the studio, like him going to Black Scorpio studio or down a Jammies and then place to go work. So you find, you know, I never forget one time I was there and this is like, I always remember this. I remember one day I was there and we were doing some work, you know what I mean? And Jenny Hasburn come and doing thing, and I remember me here, back and nice in the studio here, down a Black Scorpio. I'm going to go out the door, a Beenie Man. It's the first time I see Beenie Man, ever. Mm-hmm. Oh, a bad man, wicked man, now take man fit high, go in and man, kill hand. I mean, I say, yo, DJ, you're mad. Mm-hmm. But because I look at you, but never really know Beenie Man like that. But for me, the man, sit and show them and say, yo, what the body's thing this? You see me? Mm-hmm. And after that, you know, I remember being there and my father was like, yo, go into the box. So I look at him like, huh? Okay, you know, really, you want the opportunity. You get me? I say, and the man said, yeah, go into the box, man. Put the can over your ears and voice something on the radio. Let me hear you. I'm going in the box and start singing a thing, and him say, all right, come. You go home. You finish right at tune for the ready, man. Voice on it. And him voice 2 songs with me. You get me? At that time, him give me a name, O.A. Thomas. I never do like the name still, you know, Daddy, you know? From Daddy Serene, and you know, that's right. Yeah. I'm still novice at the thing, you get me? Yeah. But I must give him props, because by him allowing me to go in the box and exercise my talents and those rhythms, it opened up also not the fact that I could sing to myself, it opened up the fact that I could also write my own music. Because that was the first opportunity I got to pen something. And I've been writing music since. You get me? Now, fast forward now, boom. I was still in high school, about my last year in school. And I had a friend named Bobby Brown. See me, Robert Brown, we call him Bobby Brown, you get me, because the man, they have them eye tap and the man that deal with sexiness, you get them, I say, the girl them, I want bag of thing, but I'm a good friend, my best friend at the time. And me and them flex, they get me, and remember one day him said to me, say, yo, you know, sir, I know about a group we have farm and when I'm my way, if you come around there and come link up and see where I go on, you know. Anyway, I follow them go around there one day and meet one of the members, Alwyn Rose Green. He was the first member I met.
Okay.
And then eventually came Patrick Hilton and then Mitch. You see me? And then eventually after the group started running and we started making some headways, we bring on our fifth member. You see me? But those four guys that I spoke to you about, Alwyn, Patrick, Mitch, and myself was the four founding foundation members of ARP. And that is how the group started. Again, we start emulate the American groups like Jodeci and Weston and Shy and them. And it was that end of some competition. You get, because at the time, group thing wasn't really prevalent in Jamaica. You know, we really kind of were the forerunners of that. We kind of build that and start it because there were groups before us, you know, but like we're talking about like the Eptones and them thing, but in that modern time,
the young people-ish type of groups.
Yeah, there wasn't any group around doing anything in that regard. And now we come and say, yo, boom, group, and then we start do that now. And then eventually, I forgot his name, this guitarist, named Chin. Very, very, very influential guitarist at the time. I forgot his first name, but his
Earl Chin?
Earl Chin. Yeah, him chop out now, but him started some work with me and look, I remember him saying to us, well, you know, you guys are singing R&B and trying to sing the American kind of music in Jamaica. And honestly, it's not going to work. It's best when you start singing some reggae. You see me? And I saw now we start dipping at the box now and start come up with some reggae vibe now. You get me? And we enter Taste the Talent contest and of course, you know, the history, to mash it up. Rip it apart. They get to me and say, we never really come first, but everybody will tell you that we were actually the winners because we were the crowd favorite, even though we came second.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Before we even go too far into the taste and the ARP, one question I want to ask you. When you recorded those two songs for your father, what was it like actually hearing yourself back recorded now? Because remember, you know what you sound like in your mind, but to hear yourself back on a record or recording, how did that sound and how did that feel to you?
I'll tell you about the feeling. The feeling was euphoric. The sound was great, but it wasn't. I mean, back then, when I heard it, to me, it was fine. It was exciting. You know what I mean? It was like the best day of my life ever. But as I got older and I listened back to them songs, I cringe. Because I thought I had it, but I didn't have it. Now I have it. You know what I mean? So I compared that and I was like, oh, what were you even doing? I mean, what was that? You know?
Did he actually release those songs? Or you just have them?
No, man, man, because I remember, you know, production in them time, the verse is now different to them. You get me? I said to you, everything has evolved, you know, and as individuals, we have all evolved too, you know, talent-wise. You get me? But them time, the brother, I tell you, you know, I tell me some nice thing, right? You're my heart like fire them time. You get me? I said, but when I look back now, I said, boy, you have to look where my youth.
And those were released under O.A. Thomas at that time there.
Yeah, O.A. Thomas was released as I said, I never like the name, but I work with it. Right. So, you know? Yeah.
Good. All right. That's what I wanted to know there. All right. So then fast forward back to the Tasty contest. You guys came second, but that's when you guys started to make some noise. So what was the next move after the contest? Now, did a producer see you guys? Did you guys start visiting studios? What was the next move for ARP at that time there?
The next move at that time really still, as I said before, we start do cabaret on the North Coast, perform at basketball and, you know what I mean, sandals and all these hotels. And, you know what I mean, when I perform at them places, you have to come with it. We had them, when you're doing cabarets, performance and voice and everything, you have to feel a chop. You get me? I say, you're performing for tourism, for the tourism industry. You feel me? So a different level, I think, requires for that. And while we were doing that, we were still kind of doing some production by ourselves, trying to get ourselves out there until eventually, you know, we start link up with Shocking Vibes. You get me? And when we start link up with Shocking Vibes, now we start Vice on Shocking Vibes label. And then we build up a close friendship with Beenie Man on a musical level.
Look how crazy that is. First, you remember you seen him as a studio, say this guy is wicked, and then now you started to work with him.
Exactly, but he might even know that I didn't see them time. Because the time when I see him, the song, he does build the song, and he would have wax it, and come to the studio and bust the place with it, and then, you know what I mean, years later now, me and I grew up now, and boom, here we are, working together. You get to me and say Shocking Vibe style, and that is when the real energy start coming. We have to let go the cabaret thing now, and, you know what I mean, we started book for some shows here and there, and, you know, yeah.
Okay, so then how did you even go from A.R.P. Thomas to Daville? How did that happen?
Well, I can tell you this. Moving from A.R.P. Thomas is no surprise. I had to move away from that. Kind of me that they get me. Daville now still, after I leave A.R.P, I went solo.
Okay, hold on, Erks. If this is after A.R.P, I don't even want to get there yet. We still have some ground to cover. Okay, we have grounds to cover. Okay, so you're still so you went into A.R.P as A.R.P Thomas.
No, well, I never really locked the name, you know. When my father said A.R.P Thomas, I never really locked the name in as like embrace it. You get me? But just have the name upon them two records upon wax. Because I never really voiced anything by myself after that. You see me? I just did those two singles for him, and then I became a member of a group, and then become the one of the lead members of the group. I never really thought about going solo since, you know, that the thought never really occurred to me that one day I'd go solo. You feel me? Because as far as I'm concerned, it was all about the group, it was all about A.R.P at that time. I never seen nothing else on my visionary board ahead. You dig?
Got you. So you guys started to record for Shocking Vibes. What was one of your first hits you guys got as a group now?
Yeah, well, I must say the Lion Sleeps, the remake of that was the biggest thing. You know, we could perform on any show and don't sing that. You get me? I say, in terms of Shocking Vibe label itself, I can't say that we had a hit record by ourselves on that label, but we did have some songs with Beenie Man, especially on the Many Moods of Moses album that was nominated for Grammy for Beenie Man. That we did the intro for that, and also did some backgrounds and also a couple of features on that album. You get me? I said to you, the hit songs, I would say, is like songs like Selena that we did for Computer Paul. You know what I mean? Tinted Care that we did for Scatter. You know what I mean? Yeah.
From there, and another big one you guys had too was Storm and Missing You. Those were two big songs there.
Yeah, Storm was for RC1 Records as well, because we were signed to RC1 Records eventually. You get me? And we were working very close with them. And then Missing You was for Banky Lush Production. You get me? I say, yeah.
Yeah, Missing You, I remember when that came out. This came out right after Biggie Smalls had died and everything. And that song right there, anytime you heard Stone Love, in that time there, they would always play that song and that rhythm there.
Yeah, because we were signed to RC1 at one point, and we were also signed to Spec Shang, which is Specialist. I don't know, Bankulus was a part of Spec Shang. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't know, but eventually we had migrated to Florida, or we got signed to Spec Shang, where we were living in Florida at the time, and kind of move away from the Jamaican scene. You know, when we came back to Jamaica, some different people around the thing in terms of group. You get me? Yeah.
This is where the T.O.K came into you guys' life right now.
Yeah, man, big up T.O.K, you know? Yeah, man.
This was the first time you guys really started to hear about them when you guys came back, no? As a group?
No, we kind of heard about them before, but at that time they were doing the same thing that we were doing in terms of, we started out, they were doing that. And when I say that to say this, they were doing the emulations as well as of the different overseas groups. You know what I mean? I don't think that they were really deep into reggae or dancehall thing when we left Jamaica. You know, when we leave Jamaica and come back now, we hear some different thing. And the man, them go hard. I mean, I tell you, I mean, from the very first song I heard from T.O.K. in terms of what they started doing in dancehall and reggae, I fell in love with the style. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Them thing, turn up, you get me? Yeah.
Because both groups were very unique in how you guys sounded. It was both groups were okay. You guys had 5, I think they had 4, but the way how you guys would sound like one voice when put together was so amazing. Both groups at that time there.
Same.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, but then even now, this is when I know there was an issue between ARP and T.O.K. What had happened there?
Ah, man. I hope this is the last time I talk about this, but you know, I haven't really spoken about this in years because you know, them and I are good
for sure,
very, very, very good. You know, it's unfortunate whatever happened, but it happened, and that's the reality of things. It just so happened that when I don't know, I think we did some kind of performance, and they did some kind of performance somewhere, and we kind of felt a vibe, like there wasn't a mutual respect. You did? And I don't know, I can't really pinpoint the exact time I did or it started, but I just know that eventually what happened is this. They did a song, Chichi Man. See me? Now, scatter now have a rhythm, have a linking. And of course, you know, a lot of people had issues with the Chichi Man song. It's a big song, but some people have said, yo, and this, and some people have said that. We, you know, I said, okay, when they were asked the question what Chichi Man mean, it's like them I said, well, you know, some termite in a wood and you see I said some man in the group I said, yo, by you, I don't want them that wood up to the thing. Even twins have, a matter of fact, twins of twins was really pushing the fire behind, yo, when you need to do a song and counter it because the man them now wood up to what them really I said them a go around the bush because them a try get the hype out of the song and not really embrace what the song is truly dealing with, which we all know said is not termite in a wood. You see me? So, of course, they push the fire upon we, and some man in the group say, yo, you mean, I come and do it. Remember, I'm a part of a group. I can't say no, and every man I say, yeah, let's go with the flow. Anyway, eventually, I'm saying here too, like, really and truly, I mean, it makes sense. If you say termite is that, then we need some kind of explanation. And that is where now tinted car came up. You see what I'm saying? Because love boy, I move like a shatter. I read the eagle. You know what I mean? So we said, in the song, shatter, I'm not trying to leave on the eagle and the car. You get me? So we said, oh, say if you're a shatter, or if you leave the eagle in the car, dog. Because for a big concern, as a garrison youth, Batman have left them gun in the car. Batman have gun per waist. You get the man said to you? So if you say you're a shatter, that means you're wrong up to the song that are wrong slang. You see me? Because the song for scatter is called wrong slang. Because I use certain slang to basically describe certain things where in a real life, me know as a youth from the ghetto, you see me say, as a Batman or a gangster, you know left eagle in a car. You see me? So now the song come now and we build it and voice it now for scatter, and I guess even a party night where one of them was jeering, I think the very fine voice singer in T.O.K. It was just a hilarious thing. We were just having fun with the record. You get the message. You never expect say no violence thing will go on. But I think it's a lyrical thing. You get the message. I look at vibe. Bounty and Beenie do it. Are the 2 top DJ in Jamaica. You get the message. We are the 2 top group. Boom. We could do it now. Simple. It's a fun thing. Enjoy a thing. But then what stuff like the man them take it personal deep. You know for the jeering where they look at man a jeer man I say, with my name voice and the man them take it serious me when I'm on a show one day and then the man pre-meds. Be a screw fierce. I say, yo, what is for now? Anyway, a musical thing, wait. Me left it this, I mean, I see a musical thing. And then I said, and one day I did RFM now, and me, you know, at the time, my girl my girl at the time was a executive at IRFM at the time. You see me? But the thing is this with that, my situation will always separate my business from her workplace. But at the same time, if I go to her workplace more time, go check her or pick her up from work and take her home and drop her off so me can go do my business on the road, musically speaking. Just so happened that one day, I go around there on one of my visits, for probably pick her up or drop her off some lunch or whatever. I'm driving, I say, T.O.K. I say, 3 members of the group. See me, I say, BSA, see Mr. Craig, see and is it, I don't remember the other one. But anyway, Mr. Trader, man, me come in, so when me come to the gate now, I said, the man am pray me. So, in my heart, I just laugh and laugh. As I said before, it's a fun thing to me. I never expect no violence thing. I laugh, and I say, yo, whatever, I can wait for a one song, dog. A one song be. You know what I mean? Anyway, I walk past now, me I laugh, them I script them face, and I pray me. Me I laugh, and me I walk. So, me you know what? I say like, a man comes and not they meant to our next man like them and say, yo, see me, I know. You see me? And before me know it, we kick off. They get a message here, we kick off now. I think a BSA running and have a stick in a man and put a one lick on the stick and the stick. My left and broke the stick, broke out, boom. How I look? I say our next man running now, I think, yeah, Craig running now, hug me up from behind. See me? But him hugging me up now from behind now, hold on for me, and BSA lick me with the stick. Me feel like say a gang thing, the man might gang me up. So now, I don't know, it's like my angel that walk with me. They make sure them put on a saw while them cutting saw up on the ground. Because the angel knows that this will never stand up. When that I go on, so I have to defend myself. So when Craig hugged me up now, me look down on the ground, I see a cutting saw on the ground in front of me. Like he just chop out the heaven and chop on my foot. So I just shake out the man and take up the saw and I turn around and give him one crossing drop. And I say like him shake it off. I mean, I move away. You look at man and they didn't really move him, just shake it off when I come again. So I see him come again. So me easy have one more and give him one more. And the star comes and bend around him head and you know what I mean? And by the time I gonna do so again, that must have pissed him off even more. I'm gonna look around, I see the next shoot now I come, I'm the other singer, like him a movie. So I kinda go off and with the start and like system I mean business and I'm ease off. And before I know it, the security guard now run and grab me from behind. And run with me going to the office and close the door. Behind me. Right through this whole ordeal, brother. I laugh, you know. I be laugh, no seriously. I laugh. I say, what is? Because I never expect that. You get me, I say? But in the heat of things, you never know. You get me, I say to you, me never really want to cast them on the arm. But me for defend myself. You see me? And I just now, before I knew it, I was like, because Craig couldn't get to me, because the security guard bring me to the office and lock the door. You see me? And everybody in the office said, yo, don't open the door. Him start break on the people them door and mash up the glass and one bag of thing and then eventually them leave. And that was that. Next thing I know, in the press out I wrote, ARP and T.O.K at war and one bag of thing. And I say, yo, what is that? Big man, the day when the song do, I laugh. When I see the man them by ARP or the man I cover the one song, I laugh. Through the whole ordeal of the altercation, I laugh. Even when I stop the man crossing face with the saw, I laugh. Because in my head, I say this not call for because honestly, Mr. Gallis you, where me come from, we know the Gallis thing and we know the real inner dirty thing. You get me? I said to you, I know the uptown thing because we were fortunate to be on both sides of the fence. You get me? I said here. So when I see that going over, look, one song, I say, I'm a gangster thing that brother. I said, look, childish thing that be. If it's a song offend you, they're gonna make a next song and counteract the one that we do. Is it message here?
Mm-hmm.
Simple thing. We never need the violence to get involved. Anyway, at the time, that was the energy. Unfortunate. And it stayed that way for a while until eventually, it stayed that way up until the point when I leave ARP.
Mm-hmm.
It was still like that until eventually as we step off in my own platform as Daville, me couldn't bring ARP baggage with me. Because that wasn't my baggage. That wasn't my doing. That wasn't Daville. That was ARP. You get what I said to you? So if me in an organization and those are my brothers, you know what I mean? And me say the song itself, I come from a place of just having fun and basically just, we don't call it a counteraction, we call it a clarification song.
Mm-hmm.
Me never say a problem with it at the time. But apparently, sometimes you don't know what offend people until they actually do something. And the smallest thing sometimes will make people overreact or act a certain way because they might see them thing there differently from all we saw at the time. I mean, now when I look back at it, if I could change anything, I wouldn't have done that song.
Or you wouldn't really, because you weren't really feeling it at first, but then you just went along because the group is doing
No, I mean, I'm going to say before at first, I never to feel it, but eventually I say it to it. Because at first, it was presented like a counteraction. Mm-hmm. And I never know the counteraction thing. You can't counter a song like that. But when the man them says a clarification song, you get me, I say like, when them say them leave them eagle in the car. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And we are say, oh, if you leave an eagle in the car, you have a 3 bar and I stay 4. Then that's clarification. What do you mean by that? You feel me? When they say Chichiman, and then we are Jamaica, know what Chichiman mean, and then you go say it's termite in a wood. Clarify that for me, please. What do you mean? You feel me? That's all the song was dealing with. But them take it personal. And again, I understand because maybe they saw it like we were trying to ruin their career, or trying to bring some kind of bad spotlight on them thing. And that wasn't my intention. You get the message here, and I never really feel good knowing that they felt that way and thinking that they felt that way, because that wasn't my intention. You dig? But I was a part of it. I was a part of the organization at the time. So I am guilty. Mm-hmm. That's as my brothers were at the time. When I went solo is when I realized that, I can't bring them kind of energy there with me and that baggage there with me. You know what I mean? Because I'm now a different person. I am by myself now representing my own platform. I'm not representing an Alex Man platform where my thing ever come into question. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Anything me do is on me. Anything me represent at that time is on me and me alone. You know what I mean? And eventually, I don't remember how it happened, but eventually, me and them link up and we quash that. You know what I mean? Because I got nothing but love for them youth there. You got the message to you, Craig, BSC, you know what I mean? The whole crew. You see me?
And you see the thing with it, I spoke to them, and you see it's almost like speaking to Craig and Basie again, where you see the same respect you have for them is the same thing they had for you. They were very honest with the story. That basically, they word for word what you just said, but what they said is, they have respect for you because you guys worked it out as big men after the fact.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
You understand? Definitely. And that's why I even said, you know what? That's why I wanted to bring up that story, just to show that you could fight. You could even get into a physical fight with one of your coworkers, but then you're going to be mature enough to actually work it out after the fact.
Yeah, because if I understand, if I be a man about certain things, you get me, I said, you can't walk around. And to me, I'm going to make this abundantly clear. Mm-hmm. I do not walk around with that incident on my shoulder like it's a stripe. You see me, I said to you, brother? Mm-hmm. If anything, I walk around, and if I do remember that, and if somebody do bring that up, I say, I don't want to talk about that. Mm-hmm. Leave it alone. You get me? I said to you that's in the past. But the reason why I think I'm even explaining it to you, because up until this interview, I've heard people talking about the interview that they did, that I think you did with the other guys, even Mitch himself. I've never really watched them, because I never really want to get back drawn into that kind of energy. You get me? I said to you, but I know eventually one day I would have had to address it with you. And here we are now addressing that. You get me?
For sure. And that's what it is. As big man, I could respect that 100% time. Before we even get out of ARP, I know there was one time you guys connected with Jay-Z. Do you remember that?
Yo, so much things happen, brother. I'm not lying to you. Maybe, because I traveled through, I've been through the career. I've been a member of ARP and then still on the path of the career of Daville. So much things happen that some things I don't even remember word for word or note for note. You think, but I remember certain things. Maybe Mitch and them Monday, which is kind of still under the umbrella of ARP, but on a different level, can more divulge into that. You get me?
From there, I get that 100%. So, okay, you did your time ARP, and so why did you decide to leave at a time there? Because ARP was one of the few groups that seemed to have two noticeable members, which was you and Mitch. You would always see you guys, okay, these are the two lead singers right here. So why did you decide to say, okay, you know what, it's time to go on my own right now after you're with this group?
So what type of things comes into play with that? Because me getting up and making a decision to leave the group wasn't something that was easy for me to do. You know what I mean? It was very, very hard. It was a very difficult decision, but I knew in the end that it was one that needed to be made. And what really got me to that point was the fact that I was with the group and I felt like we got stagnant at one point. We're not evolving and we're not moving forward. And I wanted to do other things. I wanted to do more from a musical perspective. And, it's like you can't, at times, when there are moves to be made and things to be done, members will go missing. You know what I mean? And then now you find, say, you can't move forward because you can't find A, you can't find B to come and do their part. To a point where there were a couple of songs that I voiced, and I did a couple of songs by myself.
Okay.
Harmonies and everything, and I still said ARP, and that kind of woke me up. Like, what are you doing? Because you're doing all of this work, and then the man that was supposed to come represent. I see them. I'm not call the name. I'm not pointing the fingers, but this is the reality. You get the message. I felt like sometimes we would do a show and once we all get money from the show, certain individuals will go missing. And you can't find them until it's time for to do a next show or do something again for some more money run out, because the money with them have for that show, they run out. While me still hungry. Even though I look at money and come in, I want more food, me hungry. I want this. I remember one day we had a meeting and I never forget this. The word, my exact words to them was this: listen, if we're gonna do this as 5 members, yeah. 4, yeah. 3, 2, if it's even me alone, this never gonna happen. You get to me? I said to you, I literally said that to them. You see me? And then I think at one point, the 5th member that we brought in got in some trouble and he was no longer a part of the group. And then now it was 3 of us because one person migrated, and then now it was me and Mitch saying, okay, let's go do a duo thing. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me just go do me. You see me? Let me just go do me, man, because I can't bother that something. I mean, too much head. I fear depend upon for me. One decision. You get me? And by that time, we were at Penthouse Records. Yes. We were now working with Donovan and Jeremy. And I never forget, I had a meeting with Jeremy, and I'm like, Jeremy, honestly, you know what I mean? And Jeremy said, yo, so it's true that Vice man, really want Vice, man, when you want Vice. You get the message, and I saw them start, because I remember my Vice song for Donovan and Jeremy, even by myself, and I said ARP. So Jeremy don't see what I was doing and what was happening and why I was so frustrated. The song I did with Marcia Griffiths, that was supposed to be ARP and Marcia Griffiths. You see the levels? I don't much have to show you, but the man, them, to me, get lackadaisical, man. And I say, yo, now is not the time.
And when you started this conversation, you said that your father was ambitious. He brought you guys from the garrison to uptown, and you're very similar to your father. So clearly you're going to say, come, let's get more. There's higher mountains to go. But not everybody's seen it that way. Yeah,
because remember, I can't tell you this right now. My father never liked a group thing from man. Man used to cuss me down rotten. Yo, every day you get up, you want 4 long sweet man, but now sing. Go sing by yourself. You alone can't do it. What you tell me, sir? One back man, I run up and down on stage. But he never understand. You feel me? You hear what I say? But to me, I never pray no soul thing. I pray the fact that these are my brothers. We're building something special. We're going to do great things. And we did great things. You know what I'm saying? Because I can tell you this. If there wasn't the ARP, there wouldn't be a Daville.
I got that 100%.
I'm going to tell you why, too. ARP was like, you know, when you leave high school at a time to go to college, ARP was college to me. It did, because I never know where ARP meant and what ARP was, or when you're flat or when you're sharp. I never know what alto, bass, soprano, and tenor was until I went to ARP. Mitch, I have to give Mitch a lot of thank you, because Mitch was very instrumental in me recognizing and realizing things in me I didn't even knew was there, because he brought that out of me. Mitch teach me how to recognize keys, and Mitch teach me how to sing harmony. And those lessons, I've taken them and I've built on them, and they have been keeping me in my career as Daville right now. You dig? So my father never said the importance of ARP, but I saw it. You feel me? So it's just unfortunate that when it came to that time for us to do other things, it was just time for me to go. And I walked away from the group, leaving ARP, letting them know that, listen, I'm going to do my thing when I can still do the thing ARP, because I want to do some sort of thing that I want to express, and you guys aren't on that. You guys don't want to do these songs, so I want to go and do them solo by myself. And a matter of fact, when I said that initially, I said I would go and do these things solo by myself, since you guys don't want to do it, and I will still be a part of ARP. I would just come up with a different name, just like, you know, you had the other groups who had lead singers who were doing solo projects, but still a member of their groups. They didn't want that.
Okay.
You feel me? Is the group or solo? So I was given an ultimatum. So I chose the ultimatum. I went solo. And I leave ARP still intact. When I leave ARP, it was still there. You know? Yeah.
From there, good. So you're doing your stuff. But you said this is now when you got your name Daville. How did you come up with your name Daville?
Well, after I leave, I'm a solo. I come to Bupan. The thing never worked out musically, and then I took a trip to Philadelphia, migrated for a while. Okay. I lived in Philadelphia with my uncle, you know what I mean? And I was doing a 9 to 5. And, you know, America rough by you when you're doing 9 to 5 in the snow. I didn't know that until I started doing that. And it dawned on me one day when I was at the bus stop in freezing snow, trying to get on this bus to go to job. I'm going to my job. And I said to myself, what are you doing to yourself, yo? You left the music and come to America, I do 9 to 5 and leave a talent behind. No, D. You need to go back to Jamaica. At the time, to my girl at the time, she was still in Jamaica, and she was like, yo, you need to come back and get back to your music, man. And I saw now my family did a little thing with my uncle now, and, you know what I mean, come back to Jamaica. But the name Daville I had before I left and migrated, because I remember now I was still working with Donovan Jeremy, and I remember the first song I did for him solo was a thing called Love Will Show Me the Way. Love will show me the way, even though I'm hurting. You know what I mean? And then when I did that song, I came up with the name Daville, and it was derived from my real name, Orville. I remember I telling him I'm never too comfortable with the O.A. Thomas thing. It does sound corny to me. I love my name, you know, Orville, because it's unique, but, you know, unique enough to be a presentation and stage. I never really see somebody say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on stage, Orville. It's like it just...
It doesn't have that...
That sting that...
Mm-hmm.
You see me? So my good friend from Tontomachan Devante, you know what I mean? Devante. I say, yo, I don't know what I name there. Devante, just short and catchy. You see me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, my name is Orville. I can't dissect it and make it more interesting. I said, Daville. Devante, Daville. You dig? I said, I'm come up with Daville. You see me? And then when I come up with it now and Jeremy put it on the record, it was spelled D hyphenated VILLE. So when the record come out now and go start spread on the Europe, this DJ from that when Jeremy called me one day and said, yo, we need to have a meeting, man. So I link him up, he said to me, say, why? So what your name, man? If you fix up a name, man. So I said, what you mean? And so when a DJ from London called him and said, yo, Jermaine, I got this record here, yeah? I really love the record. I love the tune, yeah? But it's artist, his name Daville. So what you said? Man said, yeah, man said, your name Daville by the record. I said, what you said to me? Man said, no, man, that can't work, me. You gotta fix it up, man. You gotta do something about the name, Jermaine. The Daville, doesn't look good on the record. You know? And so no, I say, you know what, yeah, let me see what I can do and save myself. Cause when I want an association with the enemy, you know, burn a fire on the devil straight, you dig? So I said, da, it's supposed to be Daville. You know what I mean? I must come to up and say, you know what, D-A hyphenated VILLE, Daville. So now you know if you pronounce it, but put it in your mouth in terms of the wording of how you should express it. Daville. You see me? And I saw come now, when the other records came along after that, you never saw another record with that particular way of spelling on it. It has always been the D-A with the hyphenated VILLE or the straight D-A-VILLE. Same thing, you get me?
That's big right there. But you see, again, it's just sometimes in conversation, a DJ had a conversation with somebody and that changed the entire name. And here we are today, just something that simple.
Yeah, man, simple thing, but it worked. It was relevant because can you imagine if I had done numerous records and put that name on it, it would be very difficult to backtrack from that, you know? Yeah.
Crazy. So when this song with Marcia Griffiths, was this the first one that came out, the first big one from Penthouse, All My Life with Marcia Griffiths?
Yeah, because eventually, after I did quite a few songs, you know, but I started work on, God, German gave me the access in the studio to do whatever I wanted to do on any rhythm. So I started voice and play around on the rhythm and exercise my talents, you know, and if something was, seemed like it was good enough for him, he would release it. And I remember when I came up with the idea for the All My Life with Marcia Griffiths, I think I was still a member of ARP, and I think that was the song that made me decide to go solo because I wanted to do the song with Marcia, and then someone never too interested, like they never too interested from my point of view. And then I think Jeremy, and I said, Jeremy, I have this song that I want to sing about for the longest, and I think that if you could get Marcia Griffiths on this song, it would make a big difference. She could really do some damage with the song, you know? At that time, remember, Mr. Soda youth, no name at the time, Soda wise speaking, still young at the thing, so it was kind of, my chest was kind of high to be asking what I was asking, you know? And, but anyway, Jeremy loved the idea. And I guess he reached out to Marcia, and we made a studio appointment, and we bring in Lenky and the whole team, and we build the song from scratch. By the time the rhythm was done built, Marcia came in. Man, I tell you that, man, yo, when Marcia walked through the door, that was like, that was so heavy, man, like, that was just like royalty that's coming to the building, B.
Of course.
You know what I mean, man? Ooh, boy, I tell you, I never forget the feeling of that day, boy, when I saw Marcia, and I know for a fact that I'm going to sing a song with her. Ooh, boy. Man. And then when she opened her mouth on the record, man, I'm like, ooh, done deal. You know? Yeah.
And there you were off. So I know you spent about 3 years over at Penthouse?
Yeah, I did. And then, I mean, by me being over there eventually, when that song came out, it was doing great. But nobody still was recognizing me on the record. They heard me on the record, but nobody knew who it was. You know what I mean? They just know that Marcia have this song with this person. They love the record. They're playing the record. You know what I mean? But it's just Marcia Griffiths and what that guy again?
Devil? It's not Devil.
Yeah, but me never really care. Me just know say my voice that and one day I'm not gonna know who it is. You get me? And eventually again, even though that one, it was a bit rough for me still in terms of being solo. And then I left the business and I went to Philly. And as I told you before, one day I made my mind up to come back, make a plan with my uncle at the time to fund my projects because I already, by this time, knew how to do certain things by being around Penthouse, and being around Donovan German and watch how him operate from a production standpoint. And from being around my father over the years that I was with him, from seeing how he operated from a production standpoint as well, you know, and picking up certain things from ARP. So now I brought all of that into my umbrella and said, you know what, I'm going to use this and create my own thing. And I just got fed up of voicing for all these different people who I didn't think was presenting me with the right platform. You know, they were giving me like one track to put on one voice. I just sing more how many tracks, man. More on track over this stuff, double up and make my thing sound sweet like some other people. You get me? But who am I? I never really have no powers on the thing. A young artist I try doing thing. Yeah, used to be in an ARP, but you're not part of the ARP anymore, so your level of power drop. You get me? I said here, it's back from scratch again. So after voicing for all these people, I mean, I'm voicing for Penthouse predominantly, I'm voicing for Jammies, all the Jammies you them, you know what I mean? We're voicing for Don Corleon, we're voicing for Renaissance, and all these people. And in the midst of that, I started doing my own production, and the very first song I self-produced, a song called In Heaven. Oh, thinking about the young years. There was oh yes, and baby, you are the ones when you lie here in my arms. You know what I mean? Very first song I produced myself, and guess what?
That was the first one to come out on the Fashozi label.
Yeah, man. First time I produced myself, man.
Because this, to me, it's not until, because I've heard all the songs for years, we've been to the concerts, everything, but it's when I said, okay, we're going to have this conversation, let me actually get some detail. That's when I really realized your massive songs really came off of your label, boss.
Yeah, man.
Your massive songs came off of the Fashozi label.
All of them. Yeah, man. So, start producing myself. And that one song I produced kind of like showed me the light. It was like, bing, something went off up here like, you could do this, man. You know what I mean? You could do this beat. You know? So at that time, that came out on a label that I started with my uncle. We had a partnership with that, and you know what I mean? Eventually, I did another song called The One For Me, which was co-written by my uncle. And that came out. So I'm in Jamaica now, and you know what I mean? I do the things here where I go and voice different people and, hey, baby, I love the way you gyrate your body. You know what I mean? And then thing for Don Corleon and I voice some other things. Man, no back no girl, sit up on them. You know what I mean? And one back I think, remember, you know, when I leave ARP, I go dancehall. See me? Straight dancehall, I leave ARP. Because I sing J no one. A DJ no one, I try to compete with the Elephant Man and all these people. The jump up with them French Vanilla and all these rhythm, thunderclap and one big thing. And Donovan German was the one day calmed me down and brought me back to senses, man. Because I was at Penthouse and Zoomji and me and Assassin. And Zoomji, boss, with the quote the wall song, mash up the whole place. I'm going to do the same mistake, so I wait by my turn, you know? Yeah, I'm going to do my thing. Then Assassin comes and boom and boss, run girl left me. After he comes see me, the man boss and girl left me. I said, cheese and peace, like, what one? My thing not happen. Remember one day Donovan German called me and said, no, in the office, and said, listen. So whatever you say, I want for Assassin and Zoomji, Don't feel no way about it. Just know that it's their time in terms of what they do because they're a DJ. A DJ have to stay relevant by voicing 5-6 songs a day for the week. You as a singer, and guess what? It only takes one song for you for boss. And when them voice 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 songs, them songs don't really have the longevity to keep them for years. But you see, when you voice one good song as a singer, that can carry you for years and maybe for the rest of your life. I never forget that conversation. And so when I started singing now and I did All My Life and all these wonderful things and I leave and I come back, I started to dive more into my singing part of my ability. And I think that In Heaven was the song that kind of even bring that more to the fore because if I'm singing, it's different from when you sing J. Because when you sing J, you can make use of the one track of the money I give for sing for the minute.
Yeah.
You know what I say to you? You can't put the back of harmony on that. But I realized, you know, with a song like that, if I wanted to do great justice to it, I had to do it my way. And I had to make it presentable. And by me producing myself, I give myself all the tracks in the world I need. If I want 50 track, me have it.
I remember you're coming from a group, ARP, where that's your thing. You guys are into harmonies and different octaves and stuff. So then now, me as a solo, I can't just go on 1-2 tracks. I need to present it the same way that I'm used to. This
Exactly. Exactly. And that wasn't being given to me by most of the producers I work with. I mean, 1 and 2, a few of them did allow me that because, you know, for example, when I'm working for Don Corleon, them man, they said Don Corleon is genius within his own right. And them man know the thing. I mean, Don and Steve McGregor and Arif Cooper are just a few of the producers that I've worked with over the years that really knew how to bring my vocals up and present it properly. Because I've worked with many, I'm telling you this, them man they just know the thing on a different level. They get to me and say,
you get it. Because even one of your biggest dancehall tracks was one you recorded for Firelinks called Gallis.
Yeah. All of the talks with oh them a Gallis, make me see you like on fire. Some boys say them a Gallis, I spoke up the chalice. I never have a girl from them bottom. Yeah. You know what I mean?
How did you even come up with that one there at that time?
Well, I wanted to say, Firelinks, I work on the rhythm and I think him call me. I'm going to Steve was standing studio. I want to say my work on the rhythm and I'm a cool face I roll. I'm a cool face girl and then, you know what I mean? Come up with the vibe and the idea upon the song. You can't live with me if you're not no girl. Can't sail the ship if you're not sail no girl. Claim you a pimp and you're not pimp no girl. You want come into the dancing, you're not no girl. Left the street every say we have to have a girl. So don't make it look too hard if you have a girl. Spar with gun like them have to have a girl. But what a girl is? Not if you have a car if you have a girl. You dig? All of it, you know what I mean? So you see we are exercise our talent them time there from a musical perspective. We are DJ, we are singer, we are sing at the same time. Everything I mix up. I get the message. My thing was just different. I never really you couldn't call me them time there. You still can't call me right now, cause you know I just mean that from morning, you know.
You like the different styles and stuff. So then that was your dancehall. In Heaven, that was one that really took over. What was your next singing song that you produced that really this was the next monster that came out now?
The one for me, but the funny thing is, no one in Jamaica or maybe the rest of the world didn't play the song, but Japan.
Yes.
That was our also named song in Japan. And I didn't notice. I was in Jamaica, still doing my thing, did the In Heaven song, kept producing myself. By this time now, I cut ties with my uncle and his label, and the label we owned together. And I kind of left his label with him as his label and took my rights with me for the songs that we produced together. And I started my own label for Shorzy Records. By this time, I started producing myself now on my own thing. And then one day, I was there and I guess the Japanese come to Jamaica and try to find me. So my this guy at the time, he's my very close friend right now, but at that time, I just met him for the first time. And he brought them to me. Bobby Lickshot. So Bobby Lickshot bring them to me and I say, yo, sing on them Japanese, I look for you enough. Book it for a couple of shows Japan. You know. By that time now, I was working with a management team called ARP. See me? And when the Japanese them come and them tell me what the deal was, 3 shows, $1,000 a show in Japan. It was me, Nicky B, Bobby Lickshot, and I think Trooper. Anyway, when the deal was presented to me, I link up the team and I say, yo, Japanese, I'm have 3 grand, you know, show in Japan, you know, 3 show, you know. Management can talk fast, you know. What's that? What's that? Not good. Bounty I perform for the money there. So, you want to go Japan so far for 3 grand? Bounty I go so far for 3 grand? But me I say, rude boy, me and a bounty. Daville. I never get 1 grand in my pocket for anything at all.
Okay, so this was the highest money being offered to you.
Yeah, man, I give me a grand per show. I tell me no. So, you know, I'm confused now because I say, I know, star, I don't know. 3 grand there. No. Anyway, new girl now. Get the other girl. I will fly out and will come back here with change girl. I have a new girl now. I mean, I have a new girl now and I talk to her and I show her the vibe. And she said to me, she said, them time I live in Jamaica now. And she's in America. She's American. Jamaican, but she live in America. So I said to her, I said, yo, get a deal from my Japanese, you know. 3 grand, 3 show, you know. But management has to make it so far for them money there. She said, honey, I think you should go. I think you should probably treat it like a vacation. Because you might never ever get to go to those places again. This is your opportunity. I think you should go. Boss, when we go and take the deal, them people they vex, management team vex, and I write this on over cut ties because I go against what them I say me can't do, but me I say, rude boy, 3 grand. You're not giving them money there. If me lose a 3 grand right now, where am I going to get it back? I'm not Bunty Killer, you can't compare me to Bunty. Bunty is Bunty. I'm a singer doing my thing. Getting offered from some place I've never been. I'm going. So I'm going to go. Funny thing is now, what I'm going to do? I see the flyer. And all the money may address me. I say, what is Mr. Daville? And I with respect, you know what I mean? I feel good, man. I say, I come out for the plane and fly first class for the first time. And you know, I say, I love my life, brother. You know, man, I say, I come out for the plane and the man grab my luggage and I'm not walk in the luggage and nothing at all. I say, hey, that treatment is sweet, man. I like this. And then I see the flyer and she say, my face is the biggest face on the flyer. And I say, well, normally when somebody faces this big on the flyer, they have to be the headline act. I never come to Japan to be the headline act on the show. But think you give me a grand per show, just come sing 1 5 or 1 song and come back for the stage. Madam said, no, Mr. Daville, you are headline hat. So I said, so if I'm headlining the show, how long am I going to perform for? You wanted to perform 45 minutes to 1 hour.
What?
Yeah, well, they said it was 45 minutes to 1 hour.
For $1,000.
$1,000 per show. And here's the funny part. The longest I've ever performed for on any stage up until that point was 10 to 15 minutes.
So they want you to triple your time.
I don't know a 45 minute look like on stage. But you know what? When I spoke more in depth with them, they kind of helped me to understand that your songs, my songs, In Heaven and the one for me, was household names in Japan.
Okay.
They were like the creme de la creme of reggae in Japan, and I didn't even know that. You see me? So now, I start box together now and start say, okay, I gotta put a program together to add up to 45 minutes to an hour. So me, you're the genius thing about me, What's your genius? Okay, so this song is 3 minutes. So 3, and this song is 4 minutes. So 3 plus 4. Okay, I give you 7. Okay, so I would have to put together the timing for the songs and put them to, and everything will come to 45 minutes. Man, I saw me have it. Me now keep in mind, say, you have to add the intro, the talking in between, the interactions, and all these things.
Pull-ups and all of those things.
No other thing that come to mind me. So me put together my program now with some songs where it make it over there on mixtape and thing. I did some song like Left Side of Esco. You know what I mean? I did some song like for Cash Money. No, Cash Flow Records.
Cash Flow, yep.
Yeah. All these songs end up over in a Japan on a mixtape, so people were familiar with certain songs. It's just that those 2 songs were the monster song. The song with me and Marcia Griffiths was also a monster song in Japan. Me never knew that. Boom. I come to now and touch the stage. Stage time, and nervous like hell. Like hell. Because I said 45 minutes? No, sir. All right. Anyway, remember I come from Dancehall, though? And that's a push out of the singing thing certain way, though. So a majority of my music was Dancehall. So say for example, I have like 15 tracks. 5 of them or 6 of them is like singing track, and the rest of them are dancehall thing. So the energy turn up. All of the talks, no, I mean, so me, run up on stage. All of the talks, and the place I bust up in the pan. It's when we reach about 5 minutes and anything. Yeah, anyway, elephant man there right now, man, I tell them, I'm a shaky man. No, I know what them call them energy god, because me gonna keep up, brother. I start, can't say, and I tell them, I said, no, sir. King, one of my energy and my breath, I run out there, I ain't got no stamina, no energy. Leave, my breath start going out of me, and I sound so awful, trying to stay afloat with the melody and stay afloat with the words, but when you jump up in between, it's like you're in the gym at the same time trying to sing a slow song, Anyway, I ain't gonna lie to you though, when I got to the one for me, the place was in the frenzy, man. People were singing it word for word. The song In Heaven, I had to sing it about quite a few times. I had to put it up and sing it over. And the weirdest thing is that I heard Japanese, who I didn't even know speak English, singing my song word for word, B.
In English?
Man, in English, B. Me haven't seen them on tape some over the place I put on, because I said, I show them something. I want to remember them things. You get me? But they were singing my song word for word, and by the time I did On My Mind too as well, because I introduced it to them. Because I think that was during the period where I was also just kind of push out On My Mind. On My Mind wasn't a big song.
Okay, this was the newest out of what you had out of your singing career at this time.
Yeah. So, Can't Get Over You was still kind of, you know what I mean? And On My Mind was right there, just barely putting it up. And was it On My Mind? No, it wasn't On My Mind. No, it was Can't Get Over You. Yeah, On My Mind wasn't out as yet. Anyway, I introduced Can't Get Over You to them. And when I came off the stage, I was drenching in sweat, man, because I didn't know that I was performing for almost 2 hours.
Wow.
Remember I told you about putting the songs together by timing and not putting in consideration the fact that I never pull up and sing In Heaven about 4 or 5 times, and then the one for me about one next 4 or 5 times. So I ended up doing almost 2 hours on that stage that night. Most of it out of breath, but
But you did it.
I did it. Mm-hmm. And based on that now, I kind of learned how to gauge myself. Because for the next 2 shows after that, I kind of like cut my program down. You know, and even though I did that, I still was doing second show maybe a little bit over an hour. Mm-hmm. And then the third show maybe about an hour. Still past 45 minutes. But I earned my 3,000 with blood, sweat, and tears on that stage. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? By stepping up to the plate and facing the challenge and getting what I need to get done as a man. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Now, the real reward came from dub plates.
Okay.
Because I didn't know that Japanese was into the sound system and things like that. And I remember the promoter saying to me, well, we have dub plate sessions lined up for you. Mm-hmm. You want to know how much to charge to sound man them? Me never know. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really want to tell them a certain figure either and give them a price where I can turn around and beat me back at the end. Yeah. So me put it back on him. I say, yo, Trigger. Cause his name is Trigger. Mm-hmm. So I say, yo, Trigger, how much you think I should charge for the dub plates? He said, well, maybe 400-500. Huh? Man said, yeah, about 400-500. Mm-hmm. I said, okay, let's do 500. Mm-hmm. Man. When I turned up at the studio, the line long from upstairs, downstairs to the door, man. I mean, I tell you, when I see the crowd, mm-hmm. I'm going to say the money I pour in, man. I say, 500 up pop. Big man, I sing from about 7 that evening till about 7 the following morning. Mm-hmm. And I'm a voice, I'm a throat, I heard, I say, yo, get me some tea. Want me stuff. What you got, some man? I'm done voice, man, and go to my hotel room, man, and see the amount of money, the yen, pack up. And then the following morning, when we go change it out, mm-hmm. I'm getting the crisp sealed envelope with the $1,000 in it, never touch it when the day born. You know what I mean? Packets on top of packets, 25 of them. Mm-hmm. And then realize that I forgot the airport now. Mm-hmm. The next day, where am I going to put that money at? And of course, you know, I had a camera back with my camera in it. You know, camera, you know, is what I'm saying. You have to be careful that you carry the camera on because it's easy to get damaged or whatever. I never care about that. I throw the camera in my luggage. I'm going to start stuff money in the camera back. And that night, no lie, mm-hmm. I put that bag under my head, man. And so me asleep the whole night. Can't wait for morning come for a catch a plate. And I say, hey, that money and I get left in it.
Because remember, at this point, up until this point here, you've never seen this amount of money for one time for out of music too.
Never. Mm-hmm. I think about $1,000 when I say, I think about $500 when I say. Mm-hmm. And then I say to you, I'm going to come. I'm going to cover 25,000. Man. I'm going to go to New York, I'm going to link up with my girl, and she come at the hotel, just come to the book and show the money for the bed and say, baby, look at. Because you told me to go and treat this like a vacation. Look at what that did for me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or whatever happened if I never listen to you. But go. I'm going to come back with, I'm going to go for $3,000 and come back with even more than the $3,000 be.
You almost right there, 10x the money right there between the show and the dubs. This is almost 30,000. So you went for 10% and came back with a whole
What an investment, Dan. What an investment. Wow. And cash out. Anyway, that really started the fuel to the fire of my career, because that was when I really started to invest back into myself. And that's now you find to start. I invested in the Can't Get Over You and video and promotion and everything, and then I went into the production and On My Mind, This Time I Promise, Yesterday, that entire album, you know what I mean? Because by that time, me and I kind of get into the rut. So I'm start write some songs about her now, and never to write sing the hit song and everybody. I'm just writing an event for my record, them and on. Just so happened that the people felt the energy and felt the realness of the songs and, you know, locked into it, and the rest is history. You know, here we are.
That's crazy. you're not going to skip over this one lightly. Always on my mind. All right. This is, to me, this is the song that really solidified you. And then there was the first version, and then there was the remix with Sean Paul. Yeah. How did you come up with the first, and then how did you guys get to the remix?
Well, the first version, again, I was in the rut with her. Man, I kind of have a little breakup because I was a really bad boy in terms of, let's say, gangsterism. I never really to pick up that. We just was given a whole lot of trouble in the ladies department, you know. On the real, I wasn't faithful to her, you know. Yeah, so I guess eventually she found out once is all nice and good. Apologize, good. We go back, she catch me again, good. Apologize, she catch me again, and I guess she got tired of catching me. You know, once, too many times in the cookie jar, my hands were, and then she just got fed up on the side, like, you know what, I gotta go. And me never really, I didn't really knew how much I loved her until she definitely went this time. And so now, my drive was studio. I'm driving to the gymnasium one day. Gymnasium is what we call gymnasium for the ladies, but gymnasium for me. Yeah, I was going to the gymnasium one day to go get my routine workout done. I was driving in traffic. Never forget this. I was in Alpha Tree. And I remember, I think I tried to call her and she not picking up my phone calls. And I was there. And I said, whoa, I like this. So I grabbed my addicted tape and I taped the idea, the melody and just the little words that came to me. I called Stephen McGregor and said, Stephen, I come link him everything I want to work on for me. And then we linked up and then start building everything from scratch, because that's how I started doing my music. I no longer was voicing. When I voice for people, I voice and they're juggling. But when I voice for myself, I could do things from scratch and improvise and manipulate and, you know, take twists and turns and make things how I wanted to make it. I wanted to make songs and not just music.
For sure.
Music,
that's a big difference.
I wanted to make songs. And this was a song I was making. And I never forget we there when we came up with the rhythm and everything, and then I sang the chorus. And when I went to the box to sing, no lie, the words just came out like it was magic. I never wrote the words. Yeah, you're in my mind, thinking about you. Because I was really feeling it like that. Girl, I want to miss you. I was really missing her. Baby, ever since that day you went away, yeah, can't live without you. Always on my mind, always on my mind, you know, and one take, see me, and at the time when I did it, I did the chorus and the first verse. I never had a second verse because this was supposed to be a collaboration with me and Kalonji. You know, I say I wanted to do a collaboration with Sister Kalonji, and I was already linked him. I link him now and I say, yo, Sister, I have a song we want to do with you, know. But you know, he said yes to it, but at the same time, he wanted me, I guess, I just saw that by what I saw, it wasn't going to happen anytime soon.
Okay.
Because I was constantly linking, constantly going by the studio up at Judgment Yard. Days turned into weeks, and then weeks like it one turned into months. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and then I see all the other people who were out there ahead of me, still there in the yard waiting. And like, this might take too long to happen. So I went back to the studio and I came up with the second verse. I gave you all of me. Now you're not here with me. Nothing will ever. You know what I mean? And then when I did that, also I had like This Time I Promise, because all these songs was coming off of the energy where me and she was concerned. You know what I mean? Even I can't get over you. Even though I try and I refuse to cry, I can't get over you. I'm gonna get over, you know. And then, oh, I've made a change for you. Oh, and this time I promise I'm never gonna hurt you again. Yesterday is gone, and I can't right my wrong. Baby, I'm sad, sad for breaking your heart. So all them songs that I really that's what I message to. You see me? I'm gonna just put them in the songs. And it does so happen that after Can't Get Over You, go that thing now, I realized that I had to come with a second single. And now the single I was promoting was This Time I Promise. And I never forget I went by Zip FM to link up DJ Ice. And like usual, when I have something brand new, sometime I would play and say, yo, this may work when you get me. So this is what is to come. And I played This Time I Promise for him, and I make him know, say, that's a song I was presently promoting, but I have songs like these coming, and I played On My Mind for him. And when he heard it, he was like, yo, I know you're promoting This Time I Promise, but this is a song that On My Mind, I want you to live with me today. And I was like, no, B, can't do that, yeah, I'm mash up my floor, man. I'm not promoting that right now, I'm promoting this. If we get this right now, you try have the whole vibe, I try to bring more and put out a songs in a certain sequence. But eventually he convinced me. And I said to him, word for word, I said, yo, please, my beg you, just play it one time.
Yeah.
And then just focus on the This Time I Promise. And the man give me him word. Yeah, man, thing good. Remember, so when I come to the jump in the mic and I left zip and tune into him. Me and play and him play. Oh, this time I promise. And then, ding, ding, ding. And the man start be a hole in the song. 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, pull up. And I say, yo, let's start getting mad. Yes, I do start, man, I mash up my thing big. You see me? Before me know, I see my phone start ring. Answer my phone. Big A from RFM. Yo, singer, how come? Man, I've tuned him in the after tune. I said, which tune you there? Because I already gave him This Time I Promised. The man said, no, the other one I made him and I play a while. How many other tune there? So I said, man, I promote it. The man said, hey, more on that, you know. My phone ring again. Look at Richie from Swatch. Singer, I pray, you know. What do you mean? Yeah, come on, I play a song, I'm half song. I say, yo. And that is how I had no choice but to start. Just run with it.
Push it out from there. So then how did the Sean Paul remix happen then now?
By that time, the song is the biggest song in Jamaica and probably so on a global scale in terms of the genre. And Sean, I kind of know Sean from the days of him being by Jeremy Art in the studio, and I was by 2 other records. I used to hang out up there sometimes. I used to voice a couple of songs with Jeremy Arden, you know what I mean, and look at them and Sean and me, so up then, you know, more time I'd be up there playing Xbox and watching them play Xbox, and you know what I mean? It's all like a vibe. By this time, Sean was the biggest reggae act kind of globally, you know, and in Jamaica though, his presence in terms of the music was a bit slightly off, you know, while his presence in the global scale was more huge. I remember him and I was hosting this program up by Zip FM again. And while we were in the studio, I remember him saying to me, yo, singer, you know when you hear a song and you wish that you sing it, man, that song you have on my mind, I really wish I'd me sing that song there in my youth. I said, for real? I said, yeah, man, the song, bad, love it. So by him saying that now, I said to him, well, if you love it that much, how about we do a remix? And the man said, hey, man, yeah, man. Can't do that, man. And I saw now the remix come into play. We link up Stephen and make the appointment. And that's how Stephen meet him too.
Okay.
Because it's me really why Sean Paul growing up by Stephen's studio, by Stephen McGregor studio, and I saw Sean Paul meet him. You know what I mean? Because Stephen was a young genius, man. I knew Stephen way before anybody else even start. I mean, there was just a little kid, and my brother encouraged us, bring me to meet him, and I said, "You're youth, bud, local school youth, but his talent is a giant, you know." You see me? So now the thing come now, the collaboration came, and we did the song, and I re-released it again on my label, and it went out again and blew up. So the song went to #1 twice. Went to #1 by itself as a solo with me alone, and it went to #1 again as a remix. Yeah, man.
And then you had put out the visuals and everything at that time there too.
Yes.
Your album, your big album, was named the same thing, Always on My Mind.
Yeah.
How did that album do for you in your career at that time there now?
Well, that album came out, that was my exclusive project from the beginning. So the reason why VP Records ended up getting the album is because I had Sean Paul now on the remix, you know, and I wanted to put the remix on the album. And Sean was signed to them, and they wouldn't cut the tape and let me use that song unless I gave them the album. And you know what? I'm like, well, it's a big song. Sean is globally known, and probably they could do something more with it than I could from a independent aspect of things. You feel me? But that album is still like my iconic album until this day. You know what I mean? Up until this day, that album is still favorite of a lot of people until they hear this one I'm coming with. Yeah, man.
Because I know you just put out the single Happy. Yeah, all right. And to me, I'll tell you Happy because I've known Daville he does the Lovers Rock, but I know you also do Afro beats because you did a song with Stone Boy. I know you do a soca style. I know you do all type of style, but this one here is like a smooth groove.
Yes.
That's what it feels like to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tell us how you came up with Happy.
Okay, so Happy, when you hear Happy, it shows you, I think it really shows you, or it gives you the vision of what my vocals is really all about. You know what I mean? It gives you a taste of the things that I can do. Happy is a song that was introduced to me by one of my co-writers from the Bahamas. And we were doing some work together. We work on the Stone Boy with Daville and Stone Boy project. You know what I mean? MDs and Sketch Kerry. MDs is no longer with us, God rest his soul. You know what I mean? But he was present at the time when we started this project. And Happy's really like maybe about 3 years in the making, this single.
Okay.
Seriously. Yeah. And when I heard it, I loved it from the get-go. You know what I mean? And he gave it to me. And then I sent me the files and everything in my studio right here is where I did all the vocals for myself. My vocals was done here. Then I sent it back to him there, and he edited, mix it, get it back to me. You know what I mean? It's on my label now. My label that I have right now, Global Merchant Music Group. I'm the executive producer of the project, and I didn't want to rush and put out any more materials because it's been a while and people have been asking for new music, but I feel like I was missing the mark by just doing what everybody else was doing, which is flooding the market. Flooding the market because I'm of a name, and I didn't want to do that anymore because I feel like I was doing great songs for so long that just fell under the radar without no recognition to it. And I didn't want to waste my time doing music like that. So I wanted to spend my time and make the music talk even more to me deeply. You know what I mean? And when I release it, I must be totally happy with it, you know? And I love the topic of Happy. I love the lyrical content. I love the composition of it and what it deals with. It deals with the happiness of not just yourself, but your family, your wife, your husband, your kids, your mother, your father. You see me? If you listen to words, you will see that that's what it's dealing with. It's dealing with you not being selfish and just thinking about yourself. And I kind of embrace it unto myself too, because for so long, I think I was on this journey where it's just about me, and the person in my life wasn't being valued enough, or being looked at in terms of their own happiness. What does that mean to you? And I realize that now, with me now being married to my new, well, of course, I'm a change girl again. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying that for it to sound like a bad thing, because you never really meet the one you need until you meet the one you need.
You understand?
You get me? I had the ones that I wanted, you know what I mean? But I never had the one I needed. Now I have the one I need, and that's the one that I'm now married to. You feel me? And we have two beautiful, amazing boys. And when I think about their happiness, when I do things for them and I see how happy they get by daddy doing that, and when I do things for her and I see how happy she gets when I do something for her and think about her, I see what it does to my spirit as a person. It makes me think different. As long as you're happy, whoa, seeing you happy, that makes me happy, yeah, cause it means the world to me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Big song. They're talking about your family, because I know you took a break for a while. I guess it was marriage, kids, and all that. But you also added another name, which is Tory Mason. How did you come up with that there?
Well, Tory Mason is derived from the names of my kids, from Torian, which is my eldest, and my youngest, Mason. Tory Mason, Tory, short for Torian. Yeah, man. So I wanted to pay homage to my kids. They changed my life forever, totally. And I wanted to pay homage to them. So I took it on as a moniker, addition to, but it's still Daville, see me. You get me? Yeah.
Definitely. As I said, so then I know you took some break. You changed, not even changed your name, you added another pseudonym.
Yeah.
But one high point, I think, in your career too was because you haven't really been home in a while on a big stage, was performing at Rebel Salute 2018. How was that?
Man, that was one of the best thing ever, because I've always wanted, man, I don't mind. I love performing overall, all over the world, for every and anybody that would have me and welcome me and show the love and the support for me and my music. But there's just something about performing at home. Man, ain't not like it, B. Feel me? When you on stage in Jamaica and the people are saying, yeah, you know what I mean? Sing my youth, and I should have loved that. Man, ain't not like it, B. Ain't not like it, man. A Rebel Salute, when Tony Rebel called me and say, hey, you're turning up. Need over here saying a singer, I'm going to make it happen now. There's no way I was going to turn that down, brother. A lot of people didn't know this. I was sick like a dog the night of the performance. I didn't have any voice for days. Days before I got to Rebel Salute, my voice was gone. My sinus kicked in and I had a sinus infection. And I lost most of my voice. And my manager was like, we're going to do this. I'm like, I don't know, But this is Rebel Salute. I've got to find a way to find the voice. And even before the man announced me on stage, the voice never did it. But so them said Daville, and the adrenaline kick in, and I went on that stage. Ain't no turning back now, bro. You gotta dig up, you gotta go down to your toes and find his voice be. By the grace of God, you know what I mean? Him send the voice angel, and the voice angel just and the voice just comes to come out. I will come off on stage to voice God again. I was like, hey, I got you when I needed you, man. Yeah, man, but that was a very epic show of a proportion. Every now and then my kids, especially the youngest, you would go on YouTube and you would pull it up and sit there and watch him fight in action, Yeah, man.
Because I know daddy at home is completely different than daddy on the stage.
Yeah, man. I'm a hands on that, man. I do it all. I've been tooked on, pooped on. You know what I mean? If my kids aren't feeling, I do the things that I wish my parent did for me that I never ever had done for me. I never experienced one day any one of my parents saying to me, son, I love you, I don't know what that is. I never heard that. But I make sure I make it a point of duty. almost every day to tell my kids I love them, hug them and kiss them and know how much I appreciate them because they changed my life, man. They show me a different way of being and being in this world, you know. They keep me going even through the lowest point, man. Them just know how to put a smile on their face, you know? Yeah, man.
You get it. Even talking about changing your life, I know that lately you started to walk more of a Christian gospel-y type of life. Talk about that. And how did that even become something in your life that you wanted to even pursue a bit more?
Well, three things. I've always been walking with God from when I was a child growing up, because growing up I never really had it easy. I never really had much friends, and I never really had a childhood where I could sit and brag about it or say. I had a really rough, hard, quote-unquote, abusive childhood. And I remember when I was walking, a lot of times alone, I used to envision walking with Jesus Christ, having a conversation with him. And he was literally there. It's like I could actually sit him on. But maybe I was just hallucinating, but I don't think I was. You know, I really do think he was with me all along. Because even when so many times he saved me. I've been in so many situations that no one can tell me that it's not the presence of God himself that took me out of those situations that I've been in, you know. So I was walking with him a long time ago. And I guess somewhere along the path, I think I messed up the anointed or the anointing. This voice of mine, I didn't go to school for it. I didn't go somewhere and pick it up. It was gifted to me by God himself. I sing how I talk, and I talk how I sing. If you hear a record, you know that's the VILLE.
I could 100% see that. A lot of time you speak to somebody, their speaking voice is different than their singing voice or DJ voice. But it's the same package right around.
Exactly, because God had me pick out for a special person, that a special, like God had me pick out for a special reason, like he does with you and with everybody else. We all have an anointing on us to do certain things. But I messed up mine because I think I got caught up into certain things. And along the way, eventually I just had this yearning and this call and this pull to come back to him, but in a more serious format, on a more serious level, you know. And I did it like 2 years ago, but I was still living a certain lifestyle. You know what I mean? And then I was like, man, I think I need to revisit myself and revisit the decision that I've made, and I have to take it more seriously. You know what I mean? There's no way I should do this and then be living the way I'm living. So the second time around, I did it. And it wasn't something I tried to put out there in the press or put out there in the public views. I did it. Just happened that my pastor posted it on his page. And all I did was repost it. I started to like the page. I just like the picture and repost it. And before me know it, oh man, hailstorm going off all over the place. Oh yeah, Daville is a Christian one. Next thing you know, a story in the tabloids, and it's all over the internet, and which I have no problem with, because eventually I was going to go public with it on my own terms, but God orchestrated it the way he wanted it to be done, and so I embraced it. You dig? I have to be public with it because in public with me. You know what I mean? So I have a public with him. You hear me sit here, and it's been the best decision I've ever made. You know what I mean? And I mean, here we are. Yeah, man. The walk is not easy. It's a challenge every day, especially when you're used to a certain lifestyle. But change is inevitable. You know what I mean? And if you really want it that bad, which I don't want it that bad, I'm willing to sacrifice the worldly things to gain the spiritual thing, you know? Yeah.
I get that 100%. That's why this conversation here, I like how we started and how we're coming close to it. And now it just shows the journey, the mature, the good, the bad, and everything that brings you right to where Daville is right now, where Daville is happy.
Yeah, happy. There's one thing too I wanted to mention. Everything that I've been through so far has played a vital part in me being the man that I am today. Even when I joined the military, people were wondering. Matter of fact, the public didn't know that I joined the military. You know what I'm saying? Because I kept it to myself for many years. It wasn't up until I was close to being out. People started finding out. And I'm like, yeah, well, you're late to the party. You ain't the rest of the year. But even that too has played an integral part in the man that because it's a discipline. You have to have a certain discipline to be in the military. And I came out, I was discharged with honorable discharge. So, it simply means that I did my time and I did what I need to do in a honorable fashion, in a honorable manner. You know what I'm saying to you? So I'm now considered a veteran. I have veteran status based on my service. I mentioned that because I did say three things, right? And I mentioned that to say this. When I was a child, I always wanted to serve in the army, in the military. I always wanted to do music, and I always wanted to be close to God. Those three things I've always wanted. I think I'm doing well.
A lot of people in life, they barely get one thing they want, much as all three of them simultaneously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Daville, this conversation has been crazy. I got one last one for you, okay?
Yeah.
Had this career from in the 90s till right now, okay? When has been the highest point in your career, and when has been the lowest point in your career thus far?
The highest point of my career, I think I was on my mind, was on top of the charts. That's the highest part of my career. On my mind was the song. And still is the song, but at that time it just blew through the roof, and I was like, okay, bam! I finally got through that. I finally tapped in heaven, and I finally tapped "Can't Get Over You." You know what I'm saying? So it was a ladder in heaven, "Can't Get Over You." That on my mind was like, okay, boom, I'm there. Collaboration with Sean Paul. Oh man, boom, we're there. You know what I mean? I did the Shaggy and Friends. Oh boom, we're there. You feel me? Yeah. Highest point of my career, musically speaking. Lowest point of my career was really when I had to leave Jamaica, because I knew that there's a very cunning and devious part of the business that was there that I never thought would have come my way. I thought that if I did things the right way and I played the game safe and played the game on the right way, do the right things, treat people how they needed to be treated, how they're supposed to be treated, respect everybody, love everybody, and try not to lean on the next man thing. Just build your thing and watch the next man thing flourish and be happy for him. You know what I mean? Then I would be okay. But when I saw that envy and jealousy and started coming my way from even, other artists who I thought so highly of, to the point where they would sabotage my performance and sting. I mean, not sting. When they sabotaged my performance on my first Sumfest appearance, it really, 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 really hurt me, because I worked so hard for years to get myself on a certain level to be presented on that platform. And from the moment I heard that I was booked for the event and I was given a 1 o'clock time start in the morning, I was okay with that. Everything started to unravel, and the real color started showing up itself when they called me back and told me that my performance time was changed from 1 in the morning till 9 in the evening. Which you and I know at 9 in the evening, there's only chairs and grass. There's only chairs and grass and maybe a couple of cows if you have any to let out for them to go feed themselves on the grass in the venue. And the moment I saw that, I knew something was up. And the moment I went to my band's verse and I saw a particular individual that has no reason to be there was on the outside, which was the management of a certain artist. I knew something was up. And the moment I saw the sponsor, this artist's main sponsor was the main sponsor for the event, I knew something was up. And when I told my agent at the time, Ray Alexander, what was up and what I saw coming and who was behind it, he never believed me. And when I witnessed this lady, her name is Balkis, I never forget her name. It's weird, when some people do certain things, you never forget them because it plays a pivotal role in whether it's good or it's bad. I paid Balkis my money to put up some they call this thing again, confetti on stage for me in my performance. Because at this time, Michael Jackson did pass away, and I wanted to pay homage to him, and there was a song I was going to perform. And then when I pointed up with my signal, they would have let go of this confetti. When I did that on stage, they changed my time, number one. When I went and I did my performance and I did my signal, the confetti didn't move. It was still there, hanging there. Remember, I paid my money for the confetti, still hanging there. And when I came off, I was so pissed. I dropped the mic on stage and walk off after my performance. The next day, the papers had written that I threw the mic down on the stage, which wasn't so. It was a part of my performance. I was supposed to say what I said. Did the thing that the guy did in the movie with Eddie Murphy, the sexual chocolate thing, dropped the mic and cut.
I walk out.
See? Did what I was supposed to do, but then twisted and bent it and say I disrespected the thing and threw away the mic on stage, which wasn't so. Let me just clarify that. But I was pissed because when I did my signal, my confetti didn't move. And I already knew that something was off. When I came off stage, I literally go backstage and I was there and I remember somebody from Digicel come to interview me. And I'm like, I was so disappointed and upset. I was like, don't interview me. Are you my sponsor? Because obviously everybody in this venue only should be, since I think the sponsor for this artist is behind trying to mess my thing up. Which artist are you sponsoring? It's not me. I'm not quite sure if this interview you're about to give me is also in aid to try and have me look bad in the press or in the light of what you're trying to present. So I was in no mood for an interview. My apologies to Digicel. That wasn't me trying to be disrespectful at the time, but at the time, this is the reason why I was saying what I said, and this is the reason why I basically turned down the interview. I remember going to my agent at the time and saying to him, you see what I was telling you? Look at this. I guarantee you my confetti, which is still on stage right now, is going to go off in that particular individual performance when they're performing. If that not prove to you, I tell you from morning, nothing else will. And would you believe me? My words were true. In that particular artist performance, my confetti when me pay bulk is for. In the man performance, my confetti, the man I mash up the place because by this time, there's no longer just chairs and grass. But them send me go there for a perform to out there. No, the place full. And then I go on good. Which he's supposed to go on good because me and him are the two artists, singers in the place at that time. My confetti go after the man performance. And I waited after my performance. The man go on hours later in the morning, and I went down from about 9 o'clock, and I would not leave the venue until my point was proven. And when the confetti went off in this performance, I got my confirmation and I left. And based upon that, I left Jamaica. I never go back. Based upon the fact that I just felt so disappointed and so hurt that after I've done so much and did so much and take myself as a youth, where It never come easy. I pay my dues. I work. I be set my bro. See me? I was not going for Daville, I push show same way. I know something not going on for my youth. I try mash up my thing. I'm not mash up your thing, be. See that you're still there, your thing's still going on. But guess what? God has me, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And no bad feelings. What was supposed to happen, happened. You feel me? Because maybe if I was still in Jamaica, I wouldn't be here right now with songs like Happy. And I wouldn't be here right now with the amazing wife that I have. And I wouldn't be here right now with my amazing kids. But I separate myself from the flock and come over here so by myself and say, you know what? I'm going to take myself away from all of that so I can focus on my love for the art and the craft of music instead of trying to be distracted by the unnecessary
mm-hmm.
drama and the unnecessary negativity that people will want to send come in my direction for no reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? Yes, sir. You can't touch me, yes, sir. This is my little space.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? I don't follow the noise. I follow the beat and the drum that God give me for follow. But just the music, I'm going to focus and penetrate by when the other man are going with or when the other man want to do. This me I do. Yes, somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I may do my music same way. I'm going to stop. This is a God-given thing. It's not my thing. This is my anointing. It's not mine. You dig? And no matter what any man do, no matter what any man try, no man can take this away from me but God himself, because God give it to me. You get me? Yeah.
You understand. Listen, it's just your whole purpose in this music business. It's definitely here from, as you said, from you explain your father, you going through certain things, everything just kept leading to right here where you are right now. You're just supposed to be doing this. What you're supposed to be doing, you probably wouldn't even know till 20 years from now. Then you look back and say, oh, I went through everything just to get to this place where I am right now.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, man. God is good. To God be the glory, you know? Yeah, man.
The floor is yours right now. Any big ups, anything you want to say right now, the floor is yours. Tell them where they could check out your music, where they could check out Happy, and where they could check out this new album's coming out just now that doesn't have a name, but you'll find out one sooner rather than later. All your big ups, everything right now, the floor is yours.
Yeah, but right now I just want to say a special big up to, your friend in music, Garnet Newman and the whole team. To royalty and respect as well. Much big up and respect. I want to say big up to my team, Sketch Carey and Anwar. I also want to say a special big up to my kids, Florian Mason and my amazing wife, and all my fans and supporters out there that has been supporting me over the years. I'm truly so thankful that a lot of my fans and supporters never gave up on me. Them still listening to Daville and still supporting the music. The most important big up and the most important recognition should go out to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who make all things possible. If you want to find me, the Instagram is Daville Music on Instagram, Daville Music on Facebook, Daville Music on Twitter, and from my website, it's davilleofficial.com. You get me? We're also on TikTok as well, Daville Music. Happy is right now out. It's the first single from my soon-to-be released album. It's now available on all your global streaming platforms and also on your iTunes and online stores. You can get it there. You feel me? The video is coming out pretty soon. It was supposed to be out a couple of days ago, but I have to put it back and do some re-editing. You know what I mean? Because when you're representing the kingdom of God, you have to be careful of what you put out. You get me? So now, there was a time when I used to be able to just put out the me want put out. We can't put out the me want put out no more. I have to put out the God want me put out. You get me? And this Happy song is not my song. It's God's song. You feel me? Yeah. And there's more to come. Trust me. Want it more. Look out for it. Every month, we're going to drop a single for the next 6 months. And then the album. That's
all right. Looking forward to it. Before I get you out of here, there's one last thing I'm going to ask you for. Is a muscle always on my mind, a cappella, before we go?
Muscle the people, them thinking about you. Muscle them say them love you, boo. Oh yes, them say ever since the day they came the way, yeah, they can't live without you. Oh, and muscle, you're always on their mind. Entertainment, the pop podcast, and number one every time. Yeah, always on their mind. Muscle you, but number one every time. Is it, man?
Daville, thank you so much for this epic conversation, and let us in to your mind, your heart, and soul, and really showing us who is this man behind these great hit songs. You understand?
Respect, salute.
Let me give you an outro and get you out of here, because this one, crazy, epic conversation. All right?
Respect.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out. This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinedmusichut.com.